crafty friends. This is Valerie with Curie Ann Studio Designs, and welcome back to my channel. Today's fun card is a new one to me, and it's called Stamp Watercoloring. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is spritz your watercolor paper with water and get it wet, and then go ahead and ink up your stamp just like normal and stamp it down on your paper. And then what will happen is that the dye will start to bleed, which is what you want because it gives it that watercolor effect. And after every time you stamp, make sure that you dry it so that way you don't end up getting color smeared where you don't want it. And here I am putting into the background some words, and it's like a script. And I am using from Stampin' Up! The Blushing Bride ink color, and then I am also using peeled paint, which is a distress oxide ink for my leaves. And you really want to stick with either the distressed oxide inks or the dye-based inks, because those are the ones that are going to bleed the best. And if you're not happy after you have dried it, you can spritz it again to make the colors bleed just a little bit more. And here you can see that I was moving the paper around just to get that color to go in different areas. And if you think that you've messed up, keep going, because usually as you build onto the layers of ink that you're putting down, it will turn out better and better. I was a little worried about the leaves that I was doing, but it really turned out well, and I'm really pleased with the outcome. And you can do this technique with any stamp. I just happen to choose the script and the leaves. I wanted to make this the very main focal point of my card. You can do it for birthdays with like balloons or cakes or anything you can possibly dream up. And then here I'm adding a few more leaves with the Blushing Bride ink. I just wanted to pull that ink into the card a little bit more. I thought the green was just starting to overpower just a touch. And I am working on the Tim Holtz Glass Media Matte nonstick matte that comes with it. It's great for little messy projects like this. Cleanup is a breeze. And then what I end up doing to give it just a little more interest is I took the antique linen distressed oxide ink and that same script stamp. I inked that up and just kind of randomly placed the script all over the paper. And what that does is it helps to bring in some more of the words, but it's very subtle and it goes straight to the background. And then I decided, since it just needed something else, and so I went ahead and went around it with a brown ink, a distress ink, and you just go around the edges with a finger dauber, or you can use a sponge or like a makeup sponge. That works really well. And I thought that just pulled the whole front panel together really well. And then from here, I decided that I wanted the sentiment on the front of the card, but I wanted it very subtle and down in the corner, because like I said, I wanted my focal point to be the watercolor effect that I did. And here I am using, I drew out a grid with permanent marker on some clear acetate, and it just fits right inside of my stamping platform, and it helps to get your stamp straight so that you can see. And then I just stamped it down on a little section of just blank acetate, and then I can kind of see where I'm stamping, and it just makes it so much easier to get it all nice and lined up straight. And I ended up making this into a baby card, and I thought it was a really cute non-traditional baby card. And I decided that the black looked really, really good. I just wanted it to come out just a little bit more. So I stamped twice to get that dark black ink. And then I decided that I was going to stamp on top of that with Versamark ink. And I used my clear embossing powder. And I forgot to do this. Please don't forget. Make sure that you use your anti-static stuff on it, on your paper. I was lucky and mine came out just fine. I don't recommend that. Make sure that you use anti-static. And then because you're using the clear, it just makes the sentiment pop just a little bit more when you melt it down with your heat tool. And it just makes for a really nice effect on your card front. And then here I was working on the inside of the card. And my stamping platform is open on three of the sides. Two of them are really easy that you don't squish your card or your paper or anything. I decided to go ahead and stamp the leaves that I had used on the front of the card, and I just stamped it normally with the peeled paint. And then I decided I wanted to bring in that script, and so I went ahead and dried it really well so that the inks did not mix. And I brought out that antique linen that I used on the front, and I went ahead and I stamped those script stamp down the side where the leaves are to bring it all together. And then I did stamp the sentiment on the inside. I'm sorry, I did lose a little bit of footage there. And then I went ahead and put my tape, my double-sided tape down on the back of my card front. And don't forget to use the little trick with pulling up the tabs a little bit to get it so it's really easy to get it centered on your card front. And that is the card for today. I thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed today's card and have fun crafting. Thanks. Bye.